Hi everyone, this is the video for Unit 2. And in this unit, you're going to start reflecting on your interests and abilities in a way that will hopefully lead into our forthcoming work on really identifying potential career paths. So what I had you do in the first unit last week was really to think about where you are now in terms of what you are doing and will have done in the course of doing a BA, what kinds of skills you've accrued, etc. And next week, we're going to move into a much more specific look at the kinds of specific careers you might be shooting for. So if last week was sort of a, like, where am I now snapshot, what we'll do next week is think down the line. Where would I like to be in 10 or 15 years? What's that sort of career goal, or at least a provisional career goal, right? You don't necessarily know where you'll end up, but something that works as a sort of device for figuring that out. And then we'll start planning how you get to that goal, right? What do you need to have done within the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years to be in a position to achieve that? So what we're doing in Unit 2 is sort of the linchpin between those two, and what we're going to be doing is really reflecting on who you are, which sounds a little vague, but what I mean is who you are in terms of really what you want out of life, how you work optimally, where your sort of abilities lie, and they probably lie in all kinds of places, right? Which I think for many of us, that's one of the challenges of figuring it out. It's like, well, I like a lot of different things, and I'm good at, sort of several different things. So how do I know which one is the right one? So the exercises you'll be engaging in for Unit 2 are meant to help you reflect on, out of that universe of things that you're interested in and that you're good at, are there any ways you can sort of figure out something that really feels like it suits you best of all, okay? So you're going to be reading a couple of chapters from the book by Sullivan. And Sullivan is not an academic. He's more of a sort of a career planning, career development person. But I think these exercises are useful for anyone. So you're going to be reading chapters 6 and 8, and what I've asked you to do is to choose, I'd like you to read both of those. They're very brief chapters. I'd like you to choose either chapter 6 or chapter 8 and do the exercises in whichever of those chapters you choose. So chapter 6 is an exercise about writing your life history from the vantage of a future you, okay? So sort of reflecting back on, at a point in your later life, what would you like to have done, right? What would you like to have accomplished? And again, it's a fiction, right? It's a device, but I think it can be quite useful to think about, when all is said and done, do I have a sense of what I would like to have accomplished or where I'd like to be in my life? Again, the idea being, if you think to that point, then you can sort of work on figuring out all the steps you would need to take to get from here to there. Okay, so that's the chapter 6 one. If you choose to go with chapter 8, there's a couple of brief exercises you'll do. One is figuring out your role in a relay race, and again, when you read the chapter, you'll know what he's talking about, or deciding whether you're a box jumper or a box stepper. Again, read the chapter and you'll see what he means. Again, these are just devices for getting you to sort of reflect on what would suit you as a career. In my estimation, choosing a career is in part about things like the subject or topic of the work, but it's also about things like, what's your personality like? Do you like to work alone or in groups? Do you like to do a lot of technical behind-the-scenes stuff? Or are you somebody who wants to be leading? Are you the vision person, or are you the person who wants to sort of make sure everything is done properly to realize the vision? All of these different things, again, are just elements of any career that it's worthwhile to start reflecting on now. So that's going to be our primary goal for this unit, is for you to read the Sullivan, choose either chapter 6 or chapter 8, And what I've asked you to do for the assignment is to write up your response to whichever of those you choose. And then also reflect on what you think your completion of that exercise tells you about, again, potential career paths and directions for the future. We're sort of in the initial stages of figuring out what we already know, what we need to know, and how we can put those into making some decisions for the future. So I look forward, of course, to seeing what you have to say in these initial sort of reflective exercises. And we'll then sort of turn up the heat on the process in Unit 3 when we really get into researching specific careers and the requirements that attach to them so we can start charting a more specific course for each of you. As always, if you have any questions, please get in touch, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.